everyone, Jin Gonzalez here for Oz Living. We have with us Jeff Hunter again. What we're going to be discussing today is regulation and a little bit about blockchain. I wanted to ask you, Jeff, you're obviously very much in the blockchain space, right? And you, as you mentioned before, this is one of your passions in life. My question to you is, what was your first thought when you heard about the technology?
Oh, I thought it was a scam.
Oh, you did?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, I remember exactly when it was. It was 2014, 2015. I had a client of mine who, just because of how much Bitcoin I know he has, I'm going to leave his name empty, just call him David. And he was a client of mine, and he was trying to pay me a service for $1,000, and he said that he wanted to know if I would accept Bitcoin. And I was like, no, I don't accept Bitcoin. I don't trust the technology. And he goes, well, what if I helped you set up a Coinbase account so that you could take your Bitcoin and you can convert it to USD right away? And I was like, all right, well, if that's the case, then we'll do it. He's like, yeah, I'll even include a little bit extra for your processing fees or whatever. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And lo and behold, he sends me $1,000 worth of Bitcoin in 2014. I don't know exactly what it was worth back then, but it was a heck of a lot less than it is now. Probably a 10 to 20 multiplier less. And of course, I instantly converted all of it, except for the extra $19 or $20 that was in there that he gave me extra, into $1,000. And I had my little tiny $29 left of Bitcoin in there. And from 2014 to the height in 2021 or 2020, it went all the way up to $7,000. Just the $29 that I had in there. And of course I had massive FOMO, right? I'm like, dude, if I would have just left that $1,000 in there, what was that $1,000 worth to me back then, right? So of course, when things go up, you start giving a little bit more credibility, and you think about the FOMO and the opportunity cost. And I was like, what is this stuff? And see, I only recognized the blockchain as some hocus pocus, digital currency and I didn't know anything about utility. I didn't know anything about anything except for just the storage of asset, and really that the price is determined by the market, which as a free market capitalist, I understand. But at the same time, I didn't know if it was going to catch on. But now with these other blockchains and the smart contracts and the different things you can do with it, I've realized how valuable this is going to be, not just for me as an investor, but how valuable it is to transform our economy with rising governmental oversight and regulation, with rising, bank interference and middlemen, and rising fees and rising costs of things, and the absolute, asset protection comes through the form of a digital currency that nobody can actually steal from you. And that's something that really excites me about, the blockchain, and also, and as a gamer, I see huge potential for the ability to own assets in game and do so many cool things with.
So it seemed like what caught your attention was the profit potential. Right?
Well,
initially.
What motivated me to take Bitcoin was profit.
Profit. Okay.
Right. And not because I was thinking Bitcoin was going to go up and I was going to make money, but just because somebody was trying to pay me, and if I didn't accept Bitcoin, he wasn't going to pay me. Yeah. So that's how I got involved. And then over the years, seeing my $29 turn into thousands of dollars, I said, oh, shoot, what is this? A little bit more. And it wasn't until one of my web developers a couple of years ago told me about a game called Axie Infinity, which is a Web3 game where you buy these little Axies, which are like basically in-game characters that fight amongst themselves. And when you fight them, when you win, you actually earn tokens. And those tokens can be traded for real money. And I was like mind blown about, holy crap, I thought about how many years and how many hours I've played video games where I've paid the developer, and played a game for hours and hours and hours. And as soon as I turn off the game, it's over. I don't own anything. And the fact that I could potentially leave a game and say I'm done playing this game and sell my things in the game, that seemed like a really cool idea. And of course, it's a lot more involved than that, and it's developed so much more. But that was the real premise of me coming into the blockchain so hard, is that I, as a hardcore gamer, as a passion of mine in life, I saw these implications and application, and that's why I did it.
It seems like the second motivation you had was to receive freedom in different forms, right? Privacy is one. Light regulation is another.
Right.
And then the third would be possibly a reduction in your tax exposure.
Yeah.
Right? Legally.
That's
legally.
something that I didn't even know that was even possible until recent, the last year. Especially since, governments around the world are trying to, clamp down on people and take away their ownership, especially what happened with Russia and Ukraine, and you saw the banks just seizing people's money. And I thought, man, that's such a great use model and use case of crypto, is that no one can take that away unless you got the seed phrase. It's still there. So yeah, asset protection, reduced tax liability, all those things are interesting to me.
So I got a question. Are you aware of any project out there that delivers on those freedoms?
Oh, besides what I'm working on with you? Not that I know of. Oz Living, right? I mean, Oz Living is, to me, like an ideal structure, because you have asset protection, you have within the legal restraints, taking advantage of the different incentives and tax structure they have here in the Philippines for investors. And on top of that, you have a residency program to where you have a safe bastion here that's crypto friendly.
Yeah.
So, a lot of countries aren't crypto friendly. They're trying to limit it. And the Philippines is saying, hey, we want to create an opportunity, a vehicle for you to come here and invest with us. And that's very attractive.
When you got into it, the second thing that you looked into was gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was it about gaming that attracted you?
For me, it's about being fair and having an equal shot. And for me, too, what really excited me about my web developer who's in the Philippines is that it's also a great way for us investors to invest in other players by buying them assets and doing a profit share. And what's cool about gaming is the idea of using a smart contract that can actually set up, hey, look, you play this game for me, I'll buy the assets, and we can split 50-50 the profits, and you can have that trustless, so that he doesn't have to worry about me paying him. Everything's written in the smart contract. We both press a button in agreement, a rental agreement, and as he plays and earns, it's automatically split the profit to us. And this is a mind-blowing thing. Smart contracts change the game, and considering that, the book that I wrote is called The Zero to Hero Crypto Guide. And it's very gaming-centric. It talks about everything, blockchain, smart contracts, gaming, esports, all the way down to different types of currencies and exchanges. But one of the things that was really exciting to me was I got Joel Dietz to write the foreword for my book. Joel Dietz is actually one of the founders of Ethereum. He's the guy who created the idea for MetaMask, which is the browser that pretty much the browser extension everyone uses, the wallet everyone uses. And when I saw him in person explaining about how his idea of MetaMask came to be, which was him and his friends wanted to play games together on the blockchain using the smart contracts, because it was the way to eliminate the banker. And when I say the banker, I mean who hasn't played Monopoly with their friends and magically the banker wins all the time because he's over there with the money, right? And he's feeding his own money. And the smart contract gives the ability to play a game trustless, because your friends can't cheat because it's built in the rules of the place that are in the game. And they wanted to play games together, and they actually created the MetaMask browser extension so that everyone could connect to the blockchain and play games together. And it just made me realize that my own passion for gaming is actually a passion that created a lot of what we have in the blockchain. And there's so many more implications to it outside of gaming. The smart contract is so amazing because It is a trustless system for us to create an agreement together, and the execution of that contract is set in stone, and it cannot be modified. It's not malleable, and once everything's in place and agreed, it executes based on a certain function or classification, and you don't have to worry about someone breaking their trust, which is unlike any other form in humankind existence. There's never been a certain thing in life where you can make a financial decision or agreement with someone or play a game with someone and someone not hack and someone not be able to break, someone not have to worry about someone breaking their word and messing up. So that's very cool.
Well, let's have a discussion on AI, right? Because it seems like in our last meeting, you were talking about VA staffers pivoting into AI-enabled virtual assistants, right? And I think we had, or you had mentioned before, it almost seemed like we are a bootload for full AI to be in place. So that kind of shows where the future of work is headed, right? So you're in the midst of it right now. You're offering AI-enabled services for virtual assistants, but it seems like eventually the individual is not going to be part of the equation anymore.
I think that there's always going to be a human who will be the operator. This human will need to be someone who understands the system, which is why an operator is a great word for it. An operator is someone who can look at the rule sets, develop the AI, tell the AI if it's correct or not. I actually got in trouble with one of my Facebook posts recently because there's a bunch of elite professors at these Ivy League colleges in America talking about how AI is garbage, how it just makes a bunch of points and it has no determination if it's correct or not, but it's fully confident in its position. And I said, well, that's interesting because that sounds a lot like humans to me. A lot of humans can't determine whether they're right or wrong, and they're confident as hell. So I think that the AI development, I think that we're going to be in for a little bit of a shocker when people wake up and find out that AI can do a huge majority of their jobs. So especially if you're in any industry like marketing, social media, development of any kind, coding, data entry. I can't even think of a use model where AI cannot be implemented, quite frankly, unless you're an actual construction worker. But even there, they're probably going to have robots soon that are going to be shoveling better than you. So I would definitely say that AI has to be something that will be embraced. Anyone who does not embrace it is going to be behind the curve. So you better start finding out right now how to integrate it inside your business and inside your role so that you are not replaced.
Share with us an experience with one of your customers, how they were able to leverage an AI.
Sure. Yeah. I'll give you one today. So your own marketing lead over here, Mariah at Oz Living, she wanted to come up with some ways to attract new clients. And one of the things that I've learned is that you need to actually create a persona of the AI first. You need to train your AI first. A lot of people, they go into AI, they start typing a bunch of commands like make an email for this, or they write a social media post for that, or write whatever. But it doesn't give the context, it doesn't train, it doesn't understand you. So I work with her today to develop out a persona of a marketing assistant for your own company that understands its role, that it's going to help with social media posts and copywriting and lead magnets and webinars and all sorts of stuff, all the stuff that she wanted it to do. And then we started educating it on what Oz Living does. Asset protection, permanent residency, different tax strategies and planning, different things like that. We put it all in there. We talked about the different visa programs that you guys work with and different governments. And then we simply asked it to start creating things that she's been putting off. And it's not that it's putting off, it's just that it's a lot of work, right? And you only have so much time in the day. So now she's able to hyper-focus on creating content, doing amazing things, and already wrote a lead magnet for your potential clients on a fillable worksheet, a fill-in-the-blank worksheet for them to start classifying different assets. So that, and the cool part about that lead magnet is it's going to pre-qualify people to come work with you And it'll make your jobs easier because they've already got all their assets classified based on the instructions. So you're providing a huge value to them. And the crazy part was, it was built by the AI in less than 5 minutes. Wow. Something that would take a human probably 3 hours of research to do, and then writing it all up, and then editing it, and whatever else not. It took the AI like 5 minutes to do. And probably did a better job writing it than she would have, because it's a native English speaker with the biggest library and vocabulary in the world. And at any moment you could say, rewrite this in French, rewrite this in Tagalog, rewrite this in whatever language you want to. And I think that that's where people have to really embrace, is like, how can you use the AI technology to basically increase your productivity and efficiency, and understand that it's going to need guidance and training.
Cost-wise, what are the reductions in cost that somebody, or maximization in terms of productivity that
this is the scary part, Jin. This is the scary part. This technology is available for free. It's in a beta right now. You can go to openai.com. It's free. And then if you are a big spender, it's going to cost you $20 a month for their subscription plan. And this, just so you know, because I don't think people understand, I'm a very good copywriter, and I don't mean this to be braggadocious, but I teach copywriting. A lot of people pay me a lot of money to teach their marketing teams how to write copywriting like me. I've gotten my AI to write to probably about 70% of my ability. 70% of my copywriting ability is probably better than 99% of the people that I know. So we've actually fired 3 copywriters that used to work for us. By the way, we only have 4. So that's a 75% reduction in my crew. And if you're listening to me, guys, I'm sorry. But the AI does not complain. It rewrites unlimited revisions at no cost, at additional cost. It takes my feedback amazingly. I'll give you guys a hack. One of the things that I do is I ask it to write something, and if it's not up to everything I want, let's say it's 75%, I will take that 75% of copy and I'll rewrite it. I'll make the changes and stuff to make it to how I would write it myself, and then I'll go back to the AI and I'll say, great work, here's how I would have written it. And I paste it in there, and it says, thank you for providing your feedback. Next time I write, I will keep that into effect so that I may be able to mimic and understand your style more. And I can tell you, I've never had a copywriter tell me that. So that's it. You've got to really, the cost effectiveness to think about replacing, blog writers, copywriters that I'm paying $500,000, $2,000 to write sales pages and things like that, and I can have it produced in 5 minutes with unlimited revisions for $20 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, exponential.
And this goes for pretty much all other professions possible.
Any industry, any profession. Today at 9 a.m., I did a 1-hour phone call with Robin Wilson, shout out to Robin, who owns a marketing agency that works with car dealerships in America to help them do cold email and call outreach. And within 1 hour, we were able to create a copywriter for her business to write social media posts, cold email outreaches, and even have a sarcastic, almost, I don't want to say rude, but a very sarcastic tone that she uses, a very masculine tone. We were able to get that dialed in within 1 hour, and she's already mind blown. She's already using the techniques right now. And the craziest part is she's selling what the AI is doing for her clients at the same price. Eventually, I think the market for content is going to go down because every content producer and content writer, except for really high-end sales pages for offers, are going to be all AI driven. So even the best copywriters in the world, I already see, George Stefani, he's one of the top copywriters. He's already got a course on how, as a copywriter, you can train your AI to do most of the work for you. So when you see top copywriters teaching AI courses on copywriting, you know you're in trouble.
Well, thank you for your time, Jeff, and we're looking forward to seeing more of you when you come back to the Philippines.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
See you.